free to play.
Cooperate with this process. We're reading into this. If we don't cooperate, they have the power to stand down, and we don't know if that refers to individuals or the club. But they have used that as a veiled threat in their communication with us. And we've gone back early this morning and said, unless that threat is removed, we won't even talk to them again. We'll just handle this legally.
So what, do they have the ability, if they charge you, if it's reasonable enough, if they've got reasonable enough grounds to stand you down in their rules as individuals? I don't know how they charge stand the club down, but what do they mean by if we don't cooperate?
Well, I think if they're my words, cooperate. This is what we need to understand right now, today. What are our options? How can we stop this? Can it be stopped? If we stop it, what does it mean? And that's where we're sort of headed now, because one thing that Ray and I have learnt, probably more me than Ray, in the last few days, is that they've absolutely said one thing and done the opposite. I know you're going to say, I told you so, but we had to try, Bob.
Yeah,
we had to try and bring some mediation, negotiation, settlement to this thing. And every single issue that I agreed on with Bill McLaughlin, and I met with him the other night, has pretty much been reversed now in this note there. So I'm not sure there's a lot of point. Ray and I both agree we should have one more attempt, and it's pointless doing it with McLaughlin. It probably needs to be Demetrio. One more attempt at trying to understand what's in their head, what they're really trying to achieve. But I think in the meantime, we'll just push as hard as we can legally now, as hard as we can.
I think if you read Carolyn Wilson's article, we get a pretty good idea what's in their head. It's almost exactly what's happening right now.
All the way through.
Jumping all the way through. And they want the club to cop the heaviest suspension ever to a club. Me to cop the heaviest suspension ever to an individual. And Danny to cop suspension. I'm not sure about Red involved. She didn't really go into that, did she? Packet fucking lying pricks. They have done from the start.
So what do you want to do?
The biggest thing is for me, you go.
What do you want to do?
I want you to continue to trust us, that we are not taking for granted how important this is to each of you individually. I've always said to James that I believe that individually and from a club point of view we're totally aligned. I had a discussion with James the other night about at some stage individually you might decide you want to do your own thing, and I respect that. I wouldn't encourage it, but I respect it. I don't think that's where we are right at the moment. I think we've got to understand if we can just stop this thing, because whether it happens today or tomorrow or the following day, it's inevitable that it's coming.
Yeah.
And I think we have to try and stop it.
Yeah.
Once they serve these notices, I don't know whether our ability to treat with this process legally is diluted or not. I don't know. That's what we need to find out.
Well, people do know that.
From Jack. Jack would know.
Jack would know.
Yeah.
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 So I'm hoping that we can just get some breathing space here, and then we can mount our sort of legal attack, and we'll do whatever we can do. But there are no guarantees here, and I've told Herdy that, and you need to know that, and so does Danny need to know that. I mean, I I don't think we can do any more. I'm happy to listen to suggestions. We've got all the lawyers talking together now. There is no expense or effort being spared in trying to work out what we can do right now, because 2 days ago I was told that wasn't happening without being given an opportunity to sit down and negotiate. And clearly that's not going to happen. I think if we sit back and wait for that, we're just playing into their hands.
Yes, none that surprises me, but the thing that what I see at this point is that our ways can't diverge and going off, you doing your own thing, you getting your own lawyers, that might have to happen. But if we diverge away from the umbrella of the club at this point in time, the whole thing can fall apart. Because everyone goes, I'll try and justify what I have to do, you'll try and justify what you have to do, so will you, and then it becomes a mess.
Danny, I agree, but I've said at some point in time we need to ask ourselves the question, can we win this fight? And if the answer is no, we can't, then we need to determine individually and collectively what that means for us.
Yeah, I think that...
At this point in time, I'm not saying that's where we are at all.
Yeah.
But we can't... I mean, Hurdy's determination to fight this is admirable in many ways, but, I just think at some point in time, if there's a deal to be cut to get all this behind us and get on with our lives, as much as we hate it and we detest it and we've been wronged and everything else, you as individuals and the club as a whole need to decide that if that's what they want to do. What is in the best interest of the footy club and what is the best interest of you individually? And I'm happy to speak to you individually about that. But I agree with you, Danny, at this point in time, I'm not suggesting everyone goes and does that. But at some point in time, the club needs to make a decision about how hard we fight this, because with that stand-down provision, that's the gun at our head. And I don't know how you fight that.
But it's based on what? Based on this Asada report.
The evidence gained in the result.
Asada report, which is probably not... If we took that to court, would that stand up?
We doubt it. We doubt it.
We doubt that. So you actually allow us to be hung out and dried rather than to challenge a report?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Bomber. We believe that it is unlikely, from a layman's point of view, having read that report, that there's anything in that will sink us. But there's a lot of that's been blacked out, and we don't know why. Retracted. We don't know why.
Retracted.
Have you seen the report?
No.
No.
Well, there's been 10% of it, 5% of it is all blacked out. And they've said to me that they're going to supply that blacked out part to us in the next few days. Well, is that the smoking gun? Is that their sort of the thing that they haven't told us? Because based on reading the report, I don't think that legally we could be charged with anything. So if there's not something else, then how do we sort of rationalise with what they're doing? I don't know how you rationalise it.
So what, can I go back a step? They talked about during the week that the players would get cleared. They're now going back on that, obviously.
He's now saying to me, I was referring to 9604, and I said, that is fucking crap. I said, we parked 9604, we all agreed that that was going nowhere, and then we spoke about getting the players cleared unconditionally was the word I used. I rang him last night and I said, you really upset me here because you've gone back on your word, girl. He said, no, I haven't. I said, you have. You told me one thing, now you're doing something else. I've told you how important this as a first step is to get the players cleared. And he said, what do you want from me? I said, well, no. He then said to me, there is a 99% chance that the players won't be charged. And I said, well, I'd like to believe you, but are you happy for me to use that language in front of the players? He said, oh, no, you can't do that. And I said, well, fuck, you're telling me one thing, and over here we can't say anything to the players. And he said, let me work on it. I will try and give you some language that will give you the comfort that the players so desperately need. But legally, what he's saying is that ASADA or WADA or anyone else won't sign off on an enduring release for the players, because if something turns up next month, next year, they don't want to have a situation where they can't do anything because they've given this full release. And I said, so you expect these guys to be playing footy for the next couple of years with this hanging over their head? And he said, well, you know, that's what ASADA was saying to us. So I don't know, it's just round and round in circles. So.
I'm with the club, but just for 6 months, they've kept saying to David, first of all, and now to you, this sort of, we'll get language, we'll get this, we'll get that. I don't see how this club can survive with players, things being held over their head for the next 18 months and things being held over our head for the next 6 months. And if they're not going to come out and say the players are totally weird on the evidence in front of us, and they're not just going to charge us and get on with it, I'd rather they charge me straight away and get on with it. I really would. Because let's just get on with fighting this thing. Because at the moment, it's a big fog over our head and we can't fight.
I understand that.
This is the first tour negotiation for them, not the other night, Paul. This is it. This is like the biggest stick they can bang. So they're going to get us scared and hope that we compromise. We shouldn't compromise.
Oh no, I think
that's what they're trying to do.
This is a, Justin referred to it as an ambit claim. I think this is trying to unsettle us.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't take it for granted either. We shouldn't assume that they're not going to walk in here this afternoon with, you know, because everyone else knows more about this bloody process than we do, you know, whether it's fucking Mark Rashudo or anyone else. I mean, everyone else seems to be in the knowledge of what's happening. I agree with that, and we will fight it, and I promise you that. But right at the moment, we need to know the best way to fight it, and we need to understand what our legal rights are, because as I said to Ray this morning, we have no fucking leverage. We have nothing. If we have something, you tell me. We have nothing. All we have...
The law of Australia.
Yeah, the law. We've got the SADA,
can't be
the SADA Act.
This is, you know, the law of Australia is sort of... And I agree. I mean, we're being termed guilty before, you know, and we've got to prove our innocence, which is completely around the wrong way.
Is Garnham right about AOD?
AOD's out.
Gone? Promised off the table? Done?
Gil McLaughlin told me it was off the table. Have I got in writing? No.
No, well, it's not off the table then.
I think I'm just strategising here. So we've played this game with them for 6 months. We've done everything they wanted to do, and I'm just going to go to court. Don't put a stake in the ground publicly and say, this is what we believe happened, and we're going to stick to our guns on it. Come and tell our story. Tell them what we think happened.
Go out now. Are you allowed to go out now and tell the media that?
I think I want you to wait till this afternoon. But I would have thought that our silence, you know, I think the gloves are off. It's got to be done in a responsible way, but the gloves are off, I think, for sure. And if it's agreed from a club point of view that you go out or anyone goes out, I'm now happy with that, because I think this letter has changed the game now. It's crystal clear to me. Yeah. This will be fought out now in a court of law. And public opinion is important, but that's not going to change the AFL's. The only thing that's going to change their mind about what they want to do now is that our resolute position. In other words, you know, we stay strong, and if legally they're on shaky grounds. Nothing else. Nothing you say or you say is going to change their mind. No. Well, me, probably. So
it will. It does.
The first tool is the evidence that they've got here, not the evidence, the report they've got to make the decision on. Yes. Right. Every bit of advice we've been given by everyone we know is that is not a legal document, cannot be used, is in breach of the ASADA Act.
And it's questionable whether ASADA should have even handed it over to the AFL. And I think that's
the first lever.
It is, and that's what we're going to find out right now.
And we said that, we all said, we don't want to go out and injunct it or do whatever or stop things.
I don't care if we do that.
Because of PR reasons.
It doesn't matter if we injunct it. We've got to do that. Because we've got nothing else. The football world are against us now, we know that. Look at how they treated fucking Job at the weekend, it's just disgraceful. And the Essendon world have never been stronger than where they are. It's sort of us against the world.
That's why we should come out and just keep saying we've done nothing wrong.
And you know, if they try and stand me down, or let's say that we're going to give a thing, we're going to stand down, we're ready to go in the Supreme Court, right? They try and stand the club down. I'm sure the club, I don't know if they can do that.
Well, they've got this clause, that's this stand-down provision, and I don't know enough about it to know whether they're acting within their powers or not.
Let them do that too. No, they will never do that. For all the money in the world, especially if they haven't got anything.
You know what?
Yeah.
Because their whole rules, everything the AFL stands on will be challenged.
Yeah, everything.
You know what we have to do, mate? We have to find out what actually happened. Don't fucking believe what's in the
You know
report.
what, Palmer? There isn't now time to do that. This is now going to be played out legally. An interim report where 20% of it is blacked out and you can't even read it is a fucking joke. And then make a decision based on that. And Gilbert Boffin says, oh, by the way, the redacted parts, we'll give them to you in a day or two. Oh, fuck, I haven't seen them. They haven't come, you know, so... Mate, that story can be told. And the fact that Demetrio has put himself up as being not able to talk to us because he's conflicted. Well, fucking what's happened to his confliction for the last 6 or 8? I mean, they can all go out there, Herdy.
Yeah, good.
And we can make them look as stupid as we can. But that will not, in itself, turn this thing around for us.
So what do you think will turn this around?
Courts, our legal rights, and your team speak to our team, and fucking making this happen collectively. We need a council of war now, because if the AFL get the initiative here and start throwing these bloody charges around, it just may be that we can't stop anything. So we've got to get out
We've got to get to them before they throw the charges at us, because once the charges get at us, then we've got to go to the Supreme Court to stop this being stood down.
Yeah.
And no one needs to go to the Supreme Court unless they absolutely have to. Is that right?
Tony Hargrave said we should be prepared to go there if we have to go there. But at this point in time, that's jumping ahead, mate. I need to understand what the options are right now. And he's going to fully brief us on what the lawyers from the other side have been telling him. We'll get in there, but I think it's really important that this afternoon we take whatever initiative is needed to push back really hard on the AFL. We can't wait beyond this afternoon.